Despite this conflict and their relatively unsympathetic statements towards the Israelis initially on Saturday. By the way, we're splitting the screen with you. We're just getting rocket fire into Israel. That was live. Now you've seen some of the rubble inside Gaza. What's interesting is Gallup did a poll, and they asked Democrats how you feel about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. And the majority of young people, 25 to 45, are more sympathetic toward the Palestinian cause. And that's been happening in your now former party. Where does that come from?
I think it's not only at the lower levels of the party too, but I think, President Biden, by giving $6 billion to Iran without any conditions, without any indication or pledges of peace, has probably aggravated the situation.
Well, we got hostages back in exchange.
Yeah, we got hostages back in exchange, and 3 weeks later, there's now new hostages.
Massive Middle East.
Right, and I mean, that's been our policy for a long time, is not pay for hostages, and because it just encourages more kidnapping and more hostage taking, and that's what we're seeing here.
Well, you've had a busy week. On Monday of this week, you announced in Philadelphia that you're going to run for president as an independent. How big, you're from one of the most famous Democratic families of all time. How big a step was it to say, you know what, today, sorry family, I'm going to have to take a step away?
It was very painful for me. I mean, I was raised in the Democratic Party. My father, my uncles were the leaders of the party. Our relationship with the Democratic Party goes back generations. My great-grandfather, Honey Fitz, was the first Irish Catholic mayor of Boston. My other great-grandfather, Patrick Kennedy, was a ward boss for the Democratic Party in Boston. So leaving the party of my family is very, very difficult for me. But it was a choice that I didn't feel I had a choice about. And I think it's the right thing right now, because we're seeing that it's the same corporate donors that control both of the parties. And the parties are in paralysis. They cannot, within that party system, they're locked in this war with each other, and the polarization, the name calling. They're polarizing the American public, and we need a strategy for unity. We need a strategy for bringing people together. And what I found traveling the country is that there's much more, even among the most extreme Democrats and Republicans. There's still more that we have in common than the issues that are being used to drive us apart. Everybody wants a clean environment. Everybody wants to take care of our veterans. Everybody wants our kids to have a good education. And everybody wants to make sure the regulatory agencies are serving the public interest instead of working for the corporations that they're supposed to regulate. And I think we need somebody who's going to find those areas of agreement, the values we agree on, rather than focus on these little issues that have us at each other's throats.
As a lifelong Democrat, are you worried that you will be taking 10, maybe 20% of Biden's votes?
I hope to take votes from both President Biden and President Trump.
And look at the stats that shows you have 48% approval with Republicans, and you have about 14% approval with Democrats. So Donald Trump's going to look at you as a threat if he does in fact get the nomination. Are you ready for him to come after you?
Yeah, I feel like I have my own moral center, and I'm not going to engage in the bitterness. I hope Donald Trump will dispute me on the issues, and that we can all talk about the issues that affect America and what's happening to the middle class, the systematic destruction of the middle class.
You agree on a lot.
Yeah, there are areas of agreements, and there's areas that I have agreement with President Biden. So I think people are tired of the vitriol, and I'm not going to engage in that.
Could I just bring it to this? Kerry Kennedy, Rory Kennedy, Joe Kennedy on Monday denounced you in a statement saying Bobby might share the name of our father, but he does not share the same values, vision, or judgment. That's got to hurt.
Well, you know what? I love my family. Every family has disputes. I've got a lot of family members who are supporting me. There's a lot of members of my family who are working for the Biden administration, and, you know, they have their own opinions about issues. I believe, let me say this, and all of the issues that my father believed in and my uncle believed in, if you went down and checked the box, that I would check every box. So I believe that I'm very much aligned with those things. I'm aligned with the Democratic Party that stood for the working class, that was skeptical of the military-industrial complex, that was skeptical about corporate control of the government, that was against censorship, you know, violently against, fiercely, let's say, against censorship. And that was against using fear as a governing tool. Franklin Roosevelt said to us, the only thing to fear is fear itself. I don't know anybody in the Democratic Party who's saying, I'm voting for President Biden because I think he can govern the country well. They are all say, I'm voting for President Biden because I don't want Trump to be president, because he's dangerous. And that is, again, it's the impulse to govern by fear, rather than, you know, inspiring.
Right.
Let me just say one quick thing. There's a poll that recently came out that showed that in 2013, 85% of American kids between 18 and 35 said they were proud of the United States of America. The same poll, taken 3 weeks ago, said that only 17% are. So
sad.
we are, this politics of vitriol is just, you know, we have completely betrayed that generation of American kids. We need to give them something to hope for.
Right.
Not telling them vote for Biden because, you know, we're scared. I'd rather vote for somebody whose vision that you believe in, that gives you hope for our country.
And of course, you would like their vote. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., thank you very much for joining us on this breaking news day.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. Good to have you.
Frank.
All right.